And then slowly on the next inhale, we're gonna come and bring our arms, we're gonna be on our forearms. So literally you're gonna look like a number 11 with your arms and your fingers are spread, pushing your toenails into the ground. We're gonna be in Sphinx. Yeah, this is Sphinx. So lifting up through the crown of your body and really relaxing your shoulders down, but keeping your head extended. Pulling your belly in. And we'll hold this for about a couple minutes. So this is what we're doing for our shoulders. So really think of lifting through the head, relaxing the shoulders, but almost try to maybe take your shoulders back a little bit. It's hard to do in this, but the movement itself is helpful. If this becomes painful, please come out. You have low back issues. And breathe, looking down at your fingertips, not really lifting up through the head. Your breath is your friend. We have one more minute. Think of inhales and exhales. Maybe scanning the body while you're here. Where do you feel the most tension at? Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your back? Relax all of that. Continue breathing. Y'all are doing a good job. Beautiful. A few more seconds. On your next inhale, slowly bring your arms to I Dream of Genie arms and bring your forehead to the ground as we kind of feel what that felt like. So how did that feel? Did you feel anything? And that's okay to not feel a thing at all. Breathing into your front body for about 4 breaths. And our next will be a seal. And if that's too much, you can go back to Sphinx. We'll only hold it for a minute. 2 more breaths. One more. Slowly coming up back to Sphinx before we go into seal. So to go into seal, you want to make sure instead of your arms being like a number 11, kind of point them out to 45. I always take my hands to the top part of my mat and just all you're doing is lifting up into seal. So literally lifting up to where your elbows come off the ground. We'll only hold this for a minute. If this is painful, don't stay in it. So sometimes what I do as an extra is I grab the front of my mat, make sure that you're bringing your belly into spine, relaxing your shoulders. You should feel this deep into the thoracic. Breathing, breathing, breathing. You don't have that much longer. About 20 seconds. Really extending through the spine, taking your shoulders away from your ears, lifting up through the crown for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and on the 1, slowly relax. Bring your left ear to the ground. Take your arms behind you in a reverse Shavasana. Really breathing through the front part of the body, rounding the shoulders forward. So make this a little bit more active. Think of like you're draping your shoulders forward and lifting, it's lifting your back actually. Feeling a stretch. Beautiful. And on the next stretch, slowly slide back into your child's pose. We won't stay there for long, but sliding back, making knees the width of the mat, toe big toes touching to your child's pose. So we're gonna do at least 4 breaths, bending the elbows, not extending the arms, allowing the back to just kind of be. 4 breaths. 2. 1 last one. We're gonna thread the needle, extending the left arm out on you should be on your fingertips, taking the right arm up, and then threading it through the left. Let's stay extending through the left arm, or you can bind, take the left arm behind you into a pocket. But we will hold this for about 2 minutes. So think of maybe dropping the left hip, seeing how that feels. Maybe extending the fingertips slightly more, or even bringing them back if that's too much. Think of elongating and lengthening the back. One more minute. Breathing, make sure you're inhaling and exhaling, lengthening through the body. Keep going. And then slowly tent the fingers on that left hand and unthread your arm, releasing the right hand up to where the left hand is, and then slowly being on the right fingertips and threading the left arm through the right side. Bring the left ear down, releasing that right arm, either binding or extending. And while you're changing sides, really think of how different each side feels. Do you feel more stiff on one side? Is one side just a little bit more tender than the other? If it is, then you know what's best for your body and back out. Keep breathing. One more minute, only 2 minutes. Inhaling and exhaling. Doing a great job. Great, great, great. Stay here for a few more seconds. Then slowly unwind yourself out, bringing your knees together. We're going to go into rabbit. So bring your knees together. So what you're going to do is try to place your palms on the back of your feet first. Sometimes it depends what your tightness looks like if you can do it. And then you place your forehead to the ground. So think of your arms are the strength makers and they're pulling you, literally pulling you. You feel it deep in your back. You'll hold this for about 10 breaths. Think of compressing as you're breathing. 8 more breaths. Squeezing your tummy. 4 more. Two more. And on the next one, slowly bring your hands, releasing from the feet. Put them on the top of your mat or wherever your head is, and slowly push yourself up. Coming up, standing on your knees. So you want to at least have them hips width with your 2 fists right between the thighs. So we're going to do a little, I'll turn this way so you can see. We're going to do a little back bending, but in a series. So think of always when you're back bending, you're squeezing your quads, and I hope you can see me. So first, bringing your arms up into the air, reaching up through the fingertips. Let's just do that first, lifting. So think of pushing your hips forward and bringing your arms down to touch your sacrum. So you're rotating your arms down to where if you had pockets in your pants right now. So pushing your hips forward, hands are in your pockets, releasing up through the chest and dropping your head back. So we're not going to full camel yet. Think of here first for 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the hands, have them come all the way back up and bringing them down beside you. So we're going to do a camel on each side. So you have difficulty in camel, you can tuck your toes. Just totally depends. So I'm going to tuck my left toe because we're going to do camel on the left side. So bring your left arm in the air first, reaching up to the sky. Pushing your hip forward next. So think of it leaning back, pushing the hip forward, pulling belly into spine, and then rounding the back, the left arm down to the heel. Lifting up with the right arm. Think of you're lifting up with the right arm, so you're maintaining the integrity of the pose and really pushing forward with the hip. This is more the hips, leaning back, dropping your head. Let's hold this for 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, reaching. 4, 2, look at all y'all doing this. And 1, slowly tuck your chin and chest, come all the way back up and actually release down to your heels and rounding your back. So think of cat. Rounding the back, and slowly coming back up on your knees as we do the other side, right side. So same rigmarole. If you have to tuck, tuck. Right arm goes up into the air. So right arm is straight up, push your hips forward, lean back, drop your right arm or right hand down to the right heel. So you have that pose and then lifting your left arm up. Look up, lean back. Let's hold this for 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, pulling belly in, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Slowly tuck chin and chest, come all the way back up, bring your hands down. And as we go into the next full representation of the pose, which is always an option, you don't have to do what Latoya says. You could do either the left or the right. So instead of lifting our arms up, we're not gonna do that this time. So taking your hands to your hips. Your thumbs will be on the back side of your body and your fingers will be on the front. So think of pushing your hips forward. So you're using your hands to do it. So you're pushing, you look like a bow. And then reaching your hands down to your heels. Step 2, if you can. I'll stay there. And then looking back, that's the full representation of your camel. Let's hold this for 5. Maintaining the integrity of the pose for 4. If you still have your hands on the hips, that's fine. Just make sure your elbows are reaching toward each other for 3, 4, 2, and 1. Take a deep inhale, chin to chest, come all the way back up, slide all the way back down to your heels, and then coming to your cats. And breathing, staying in that cat, but breathing, maybe taking your hips left and right. See how that feels. And then slowly come into a seated pose. Come into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, butterfly, however you want to call it. Feet are together, knees are to the side. Think of lifting up through the crown, lifting up through the torso, lifting up like you're a string, a marionette, and someone's pulling up to the sky. Take a deep breath, and you have options. You can stay here, or you can just fold forward, hinging at the hips. Staying here and breathing for a minute or two. And we'll do something fun here because I'm in love with cat and cow. These are just options. You can stay still. That's always an option. So while you're here, think of, let's try a little cow in this pose. So lifting up, dropping, releasing the shoulders. And on your breath, pulling in the cat. Next breath, coming into cow. And then into cat. One more. To your cow. Then your cat. And maybe you're able to fold slightly more forward now. See how that feels. Really pulling the belly into the spine. We always say that because it protects your back. Breathing one more minute, y'all. As we do a little, not that, maybe 2 more poses for hips, and we come down all the way down to the ground. And then slowly come all the way up, extending the right leg. Bringing the left palm of the foot into the right leg, or you can actually bring the foot into the hip crease, whatever floats your boat. Wherever you're floating, whatever your boat, reaching up first and then turning toward the right leg and then folding forward. So if you have your right foot on your hip crease, you feel a deeper stretch along the left side, maybe along the IT, maybe not. Let's hold this for 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up, taking your hands, grabbing that right leg and re-extending that right leg out. Oh, left leg, sorry, re-extending the left leg. I'm doing a Latoya. And then bringing your right palm of your foot into your left leg or taking it to your hip crease, whatever floats your boat. Lifting up on the inhale, turning toward the left leg and folding forward. And if you have your foot in the hip crease, be mindful of the knee. You may say no, no, no to what I'm saying. 5 breaths. Breathing for 4, for 3, for 2, and on the 1, slowly coming up on your inhale, re-extending that leg out, taking your hands underneath the knees as I turn this way to do it, and bending both legs. So you're gonna take your peace fingers, I think you already know what I'm gonna do, and go in between the big toe and the second toe on both feet. So this is an option. You can always stay here. You don't have to go any further. So I want you to lean and balance on your bum. So balance, squeezing belly into spine first, releasing the shoulders back into the ground. Think of bending, like maybe extending the left leg into a bend, maybe the right leg, and you can stay here. Or you can extend the left leg to the sky or the right leg to the sky. Wherever you're at, I want you to do 5 breaths. 4, 3, and I want you to go slower in your breathing. 2. And on the 1, if you have peace finger toes, release your hands from your feet, bringing your legs together. You can always have your hands underneath your knees. And then slowly lower your legs to the ground. And then lower your top part of your body to the ground. Releasing the hands down to the side, palms facing up, really pushing the back of the ground, back of the back into the ground. Breathing here. We're not in Shavasana yet. And then slowly bringing your knees to your chest, wrapping your arms around your shins, rocking from side to side. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Bring it to a point of stillness, dropping the left palm of the foot to the ground. The leg is still bent. Taking the right leg across the left leg like you're reading a paper into a figure 4. Slowly lifting the left leg up, putting the left hand to the outside of the left leg and the right hand through the hole. And you're clasping that leg first. So think of don't pull it towards you yet. Pull belly into spine first. And I want you to push the leg, push the leg forward so that you applying pressure to your arms and shoulders. So think of you're trying to use your leg to lift your top part of your body off the mat. Let's hold it here for a few seconds. For 3, for 2, and on the 1, now pull the leg towards you, stretching through that hip. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. We won't hold it for long. And then slowly release that leg to the ground and release the right from the left and switch. So right palm of the foot is on the ground, the left is crossing in figure 4. Bring your hands to your right leg first and pushing that right foot toward the front of the room to where your arms are straight and your shoulders are slightly lifting. Pulling belly into spine, keeping that back attached to the ground, the low back. And now bring that leg towards you with your arms in your hands. And breathe. And then slowly release the left from the right. Take your arms out to a T. Bring your knees back into your chest if they went to the ground like mine did. And then slowly taking your knees to the right and you look toward the left into a twist. So stay in the twist, but what I want you to do is take your left hand, left arm, reach it up straight over your head. So I want you to reach and feel the stretch in that left hip. So reaching and then moving the hip the opposite way and see how that feels. You don't have to do this, just other option. And then slowly bring that left arm back into a T. Bring your gaze straight, neutral. Bring your legs neutral. Take a deep inhale here. And then bring the knees to the other side. Things that I propose are always options. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. If you would want to do the right arm overhead, you could try it and see what that feels like. Reach into the fingertips, lift into the shoulders while you're twisted at the same time. See where you feel that. And if you did do that, take your right arm back to a T. Take another deep inhale. Bring your gaze back to neutral. Bring your knees back to neutral. Wrapping your arms around your shins one last time. You can always do one more pose. That's purely up to you. Whatever that you pick or choose. Or you can just extend out into Shavasana, which is arms out, legs out, palms facing up to the sky, 6 inches away from your body. When you get there, just close your eyes. Soften your breathing. Come to a point of stillness, and I will be quiet while you do that. Slowly deepen your breath. I really want to make sure that I am appreciative of your time. Maybe rotate your wrists and ankles. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe these are options. Lifting your arms overhead is a good morning stretch. Maybe rolling on one side or the other with a bended knee. Staying there, taking 3 deep inhales and exhales. And when you're ready, you can come up to seated. Closing our eyes, hands at heart center. Appreciating our bodies for what they have done for us today on this glorious morning. And I wish you all the best as you go out into the world. Namaste.